everyone, and welcome to She Rides, a podcast where women cycling takes the lead. I'm Saar.
And I'm Kristof, and today we're diving into the latest race results and hot topics in women's cycling.
Let's get started. Ready?
Hello and welcome, dear listeners and viewers, in today's 14th episode of the She Ride podcast. Today will be a rather short edition, I suppose, but that's okay, given the last one with Cy Fauché was rather a long one. But today is just Saar and me doing the podcast and just going over the actual racing that happened. So probably, Saar, we can kick off the podcast with the World Championships Cyclocross. And you were there live 2 days even.
Yeah. It was quite the experience. I left Friday, let's say early evening. It was a longer drive than expected. It was 2 hours. But okay, for a weekend, if you're there for a weekend, it's fine. It's something different if you're there for just 1 day, then it's a lot. But for a weekend, it was doable. I stayed about 25 minutes from the parkour in a nice apartment, so that was pretty nice. And then it was pretty cold actually, so I prepared well. And surprisingly, I wasn't cold. Like for 1 second, I just wasn't cold at all. So I guess I finally found the good amount of layers to wear to cycle across. The double thermal leggings really did it. So
And the heating of the races, right? Sure thing. We can kick off with the juniors race, Saar. That's something happened there.
First, I arrived during the first lap of the juniors race, and it was actually quite crowded already for a Saturday of the World Championships. It was pretty nice. You could still find a good place and you didn't have to push people or something, but there was already a good atmosphere. So yeah, it was a nice race. We first had the eventual winner, Lise Revol, who was leading at the start, but like already with a pretty big gap. So it seemed like, oh, this is gonna be a one-woman show. But like in the next lap, you already saw the Czech rider Bukovska coming way closer, and then at the lap after, she was even before her, and immediately with quite a big gap, she was like 10 seconds behind, and the next time 10 seconds before Revol. But she kind of messed up. I think you can say that. She
thought she won.
Yeah, 1 lap too early. Maybe, okay, first maybe you need to count your laps a bit better. But I think the thing was that all the French people, they got like, if they went to the Virage France, they got like this little bell. So it was all the time with these bells. They were constantly ringing, so I probably think like she was probably on her limit and she passed the finish line and there were some people ringing their bells and probably she thought like, oh, this is the last lap, which is really painful, but maybe that was what caused it because like we didn't really get an explanation. At least I didn't, and I didn't find something back, and I also think that's maybe mainstream media didn't really think of, but like if you were there on the course, it was like everywhere, every lap there they were ringing the bells for sure. If you were a French rider or a French rider was close, so maybe the bells had something to do with that, just being on your limits and passing the finish line and thinking, oh, it's the last lap, great. So
probably yeah was mentally
it is
drained.
really painful.
Definitely, yeah. Heartbreaking for Barbara Bukovska, definitely. The good, wise lesson that we already know, never trust French people, especially not on home soil.
what was sad for Bukowska was amazing for Revol, because winning on your home ground, that was impressive. Like the national anthem, the French know
Mhm.
their anthem well, so
Yeah.
that was quite the experience. It was also maybe the least crowd there, but for sure the podium with the most atmosphere. That was really crazy.
Immortality for Lise Revol, so to speak.
Mm, yeah.
And then on a side note, then especially for us as Belgians, we didn't do pretty much on the junior level, didn't we? We had Sanne Laurijsen, the Belgian champ, at the junior level, but she came in 19th. So I
Mm,
think we're in for some really 7 more years possibly with the
yeah.
cyclocross racing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of course, we cannot forget Fleur Moors at the U23 then, who wasn't here due to illness. So that's someone to look forward to. But the juniors is, yeah, we're doing very bad there. I think we can say that. And hats off to the girls who are racing. That's a decent
Sure.
level.
They do what they
But
can. I mean,
yeah, indeed.
it's no critics on Sanne, for example. No critics on Sanne
No,
Laurijsen. No worries about that. Just
because
yeah,
like top 20 is, of course, if you're part of the 20 best of the world at your age, that's quite a performance. But if you're talking top 10 candidates, it's not looking very good for Belgium in that
unfortunately,
age
Belgium
category.
expects more from cyclocross
Yeah,
as a
indeed.
semi-national sport during winter. Yeah, that's of course the burden you have to carry
Hmm. But
as
you
a
never
Belgian
know. You
cyclocrosser.
you can always have someone who starts later or comes from another sport, like Fleur Moos. Also with COVID, she came from handball to now cyclocross and road racing. So you never know. Or maybe one of the young riders that immediately takes a big step forward. You can predict how riders evolve during the years, so you never know. But it was remarkable having such an international top 20 and top 10 even, but Belgium not being one of one of them. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Then over to the women's U23 race. Well,
yeah, that
that one
was
was pretty easy to predict. I guess even the top five you could predict beforehand.
yeah, that one was on Sunday, so it was very crowded. Like Saturday was also a nice amount of spectators and it was nice, but Sunday it was like at this point like, okay, where I'm standing is nice, but if I go 5 meters further, oof, it's too much. So of course they probably had, from racing side, as women's competing, they probably had the nicest atmosphere to race in, probably. But it wasn't very exciting. Like let that be clear. Although Zoe did make quite some mistakes, but it was, from the start it was clear, like, this is Zoe's and no one's gonna take it from her.
Uh, Piece of cake. And Marie Schreiber on 2 is not a big surprise either. Leonie Bentveld 3. Nice from Celia Giry at 4th. I'm very curious how she will
Yeah.
improve the next coming years. Same for Isabella Holmgren, for the
Mm.
Canadian rider. She's talentful as well. So let's keep an
Yeah,
eye on
indeed.
those two. But for the
Just a
rest,
little side note: Schreiber was ill this week or last week, or she was, at least she was struggling with something last weekend because she abandoned the race. So she was pretty happy she could just compete. So I think she can be happy with silver, and she was, because she was in the party tent celebrating her medal with the crowd. So I think she was happy and satisfied. So
and I think let's get real. Even a healthy Schreiber, it was probably second anyway. Given the
yeah,
given the recent form of Zoe as well.
yeah, you never know. Schreiber has won a cyclocross from the top level, but Zoe is just so strong, and I think she can also very She can peak very well to championships. So yeah, but very deserved that. So.
And then the main dish, Saar, the elite women's race.
Maybe just a little shout out to Visma Lise Bike with Imogen Wolf and Kladonova. They had 2 riders in the top 10 at the U23. So that was pretty cool. And Belgium did better here with an 11th and 16th place, but also for sure on U23 level, also not wow. So it's pretty clear that Sanne Kant will be leaving a gap. You do have Ribérol and Verdonschot if she can come back. But also, yeah, hard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Expectations are high for the Belgians. Unfortunately. Yes. And then now we can really move on to the main dish, the women's elite race. We had a little bit controversy, which wasn't eventually not that much of a controversy, I guess, in the end. So what are your takeaways, Sash?
It was an exciting race. I do have to say, like, although it was pretty close between Brand and Van Empel, we did see that Brand sometimes had a little gap, or she messed up. I was standing like in a little descent, which was quite technical. At some points during the race, we saw some crashes there, and every time Lucinda had a gap, Van Empel just closed it in that section. And if she didn't close it there, it was a bit behind me. It was like this super tiny steep hill up, and Fem already got her. So also phase-wise, okay, Lucinda does have a pretty big remorse when she's racing, but like after the first 3 laps, I had this feeling like I think Fem is the freshest here, and we all know the freshest one will make the least mistakes. So I kind of had this feeling that that Fem would win this in the end. Was it solo or was it in a sprint? So yeah, I think Lucinda did what she could, and she was just so disappointed. It was a real heartbreak, and that interview just wasn't the right timing. I think maybe that move maybe made her lose her focus, and maybe in her point of view she was like, I lost my focus, I lost it here. And that was, I think, just her instinct that reacted like, I lost it here, while Van Empel could perfectly do that, of course. But when you're so disappointed, I don't think you can give a very correct interview just after coming off the finish line.
Was full of emotions. I think Van Empel just closed the door tactically, strategically, and I think it was correct in my opinion. And I think Lucinda Brand would have done the same thing if she was in that exact position. So I just think it was the complete disappointment for Lucinda Brand. It would have been the cherry on the cake for a really, really great season for Lucinda Brand, which wasn't the case eventually. So we understand her disappointment, and of course, then you have the media with the interview right after the race, where the emotions are still high, where the disappointment is still high, and then they make a lot of fuss about it. But if you watch the images, it's like, yeah, it sucks, the move, but it happens like a gazillion times during cyclocross season. I think that you close the door.
Yeah.
So yeah,
but it was really sad to see her on the podium. It was.
That's for sure. It doesn't make it any less sad for Lucinda Brand. That's for sure.
Her eyes were already so red and swollen, and the moment she it really sunk in when they called her her name for the second place, you really saw on her face like, no, not again. She was like, oh, it was very sad. I felt bad for her, and at the other point, you're super happy for Fem, because Fem, you see that she really feels the pressure. She's doing so good, but you see after the race and before the race, she always feels like she's under this pressure, which maybe causes her to not really feel her emotions. But at that moment, you could just see it sunk in. I did what I had to do. I did what everything expected from me. and I became world champion again. So that was also beautiful to see there.
And maybe to almost wrap up the cyclocross worlds, Puck, good but not good enough, just like the rest of the season.
Good race from Inge van der Heijden on 4. Pretty good. Vos last weekend, but I think that will come. She won't ever have the full focus on the cyclocross again, but I think with some extra years she will play a part in, maybe I have the confidence she will be able to become world champion one day, but she just needs that little bit more experience, a bit more consistency, but she does have the potential, that's for sure. And then of course, like the absolute highlight of the cyclocross worlds were Sanne Kant finishing her worlds on place 9. That was wonderful. I was super happy, super excited for her. Like it's something for sure. The years before this weren't maybe really her best. Like it wasn't going how the champion Sanne Kant would have wanted things to go in the last years of her career. But it seems like for the last year she did found something somewhere to just like do it again and ride those top 10s. Sometimes she falls out of it and she doesn't have her best day, but just finishing your last World Championships as 9th, I think that's beautiful. So yeah, I was very pleased to see that. I think that was probably her last goal and wish for a last season, to just top 10 the last time at the World. So that was amazing to see.
For a second, I was thinking you were pointing out the 10th place of Amandine Fouquenet as the most remarkable feat of the whole race, and as well as the perfect prediction skills of your co-host. But no, okay, I understand. Congrats, Sanne, for your last World Championships.
Come on, I heard a lot of people coming after my prediction for Sanne Kant on 10, like I even underestimated her, so I think I deserve my credits too, so...
You deserve the credits. No
worries. Good prediction. We can say that.
Sure.
Yeah,
don't know if you have any further takeaways from the world.
Beautiful course. Really beautiful course. I would say give them a World Cup. It's super. I don't know how it looked like on TV, but like it's probably one of my favorite courses I ever saw. It's like quite spreaded along, but like on every position you're at, you can almost everywhere see them like tries or something, which makes it really cool. Also, I found a pretty good spot where you could see them like tries, something like that, and then you just could go immediately to the podium. So I really like the course. I think way better than Benidorm, for example, or some Belgian cyclocrossers. I'm not a Belgian who can't say that about non-Belgian courses. I really like this course. I think it also gave us quite some spectacular racing. Maybe a little less on the men's part, but that's not our problem. No, but like it was a great course for like battles, but also a great course to just ride alone. So I think it was pretty cool, and it had almost everything. So yeah, liked it very much.
Nice. I think that's almost a full wrap up of the cyclocross worlds, and even almost the whole cyclocross season.
Don't think I can say something extra about it.
That's nice. Well done, Saar.
Yeah, one last thing. I can't say one more thing about it. The difference in crowds was there. I'm not gonna do a whole rant again. Is this for the rant corner,
or can we tackle this already?
No, I'm not gonna spend energy on it. Just like the crowds were nice. Like I much prefer it to be like 12,000 is on such a course more than enough for me. But if you then see and feel and hear the difference the day after. 26,000. Yeah, it's
12K is
almost.
nice. Come on, let's put it that
Yeah,
way.
indeed. So
Let's
I didn't want to spend the whole rent on it because 12K was a lot, and it was nice to see so much crowd on there. And big shout out to the Frenchies. They really know how to have a great race with nice atmosphere. Way better than in Belgium. Way less negativity. Everyone's just super happy to be there. So yeah, that's really it. Now we can wrap the
That's
cyclocross
that's a
up.
complete wrap. Okay, nice. Well done, Saar. I hope you had a great weekend too in Lieven, personally. That's good. And then we can just take a small sidestep because we had the last Australian races with the Cadel Evans Great Ocean Road race, the World Tour race actually. We can be very, very short about that, I think. Nice course with the main hill to tackle was the Chalambra Crescent, which is rather quite steep if I saw it on television. It was quite
I
steep.
didn't watch, so I
Uh,
will believe you on
lot
this.
of lot of damage done on that steep little nasty hill there. They had to tackle it twice in the local lap. But Ellie Wollaston, as a sprinter, actually, she won her second in a row after the Surf Coast Classic. So here we are, Ellie again, which is nice, I think, personally. But shout out to her teammate actually, Elise Chabet from FDG, who really did the work and who really took Ali with her, because we had some fierce attacks from the Norwegian Mie Ottestad, for example. She was very strong. And then of course we had Chloe Dijkers, Noemi Ruech in the main group as well. So it was working day for FDG Suez, with Amber Kraak as well for a shout out. And then, of course, Ali Wollaston, who took the sprint with authority, actually. That there was nothing to do about it.
Yeah.
We had Caroline Swinkels coming into good form, finishing second. And Noemi Ruech just before Chloe Dijkers, wrapping up the podium, actually.
Silke Smulders also fifth again.
Yeah,
so,
Silke Smulders fifth. She's in good form, apparently, too. And little shout out to Stine Dale from Team Coop Repsol, who took away the most combative rider's jersey. I don't know if you saw the jersey, Saar, but it was the old classic Mappé version. So it was the Mappé jersey, but it was like the old classic one with the triangles and the gazillion different colors, like back in the day.
I'll have to look that up, I guess.
So that's a nice one to win, actually, and well deserved. She went on the attack twice, so good one.
Nice.
So we can wrap up the Australian races, and I think the circus is now shifting to the Emirates for the UAE Tour, the upcoming weekend.
We could talk about the course, but let's be honest, why should we? The first stages are sprints or maybe echelons if we're lucky, and then there's of course the Jebel Hafid. So yeah, that's. I don't know if you want to add something about the parkour, go take away, but I don't have anything to say about that.
I think the length increased of the stages, if I see it this year, like the stage to Jebel Hafid is 152, if I'm not mistaken. So that's quite something. Yeah, 152 exactly. But like you said, Saar, it's hope and pray for some wind to shake up and then to make it interesting on Jebel Hafid. If no wind, well, then it's 3 times Lorena Wiebes, I suspect. And the one who comes first up Jebel Hafid will win the UAE Tour. So let's see. The wind will be the big factor here.
Yeah.
Not a full start list available yet.
No, but some remarkable names maybe. Kim Lecour, Moulman Pasio, Urska Zigard, Mabi Garcia, Paternoster, Barbieri, Georgie, Cole, Wiebes, of course.
You're missing the most important one I'm looking forward to. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot.
Yes, of course.
Very curious. Oh, and I saw Consoni is just confirmed for Canyon SRAM too. Yeah.
Elisa
Nice.
Longoborghini is riding too.
Yeah. Yes,
So
yes.
indeed,
Balsamo
I'm
for Little
very
Trek also confirmed.
yeah.
Yeah, just a
Um,
hot take.
so yeah, we'll see what happens
Charlotte Cole.
there.
Sorry, Saar. Charlotte Cole too.
Didn't I just mention that? I think I just said that, but
Oh, I could. Oh, I'm sorry then. You were on a roll. I didn't get every name. Sorry.
and seems like Cole has her whole train with her. So yeah. I don't know who's riding for as he works, but they'll probably have a good train for Rebus too, I guess.
I guess so.
With Guarishi
Yeah,
and maybe
probably.
Cecchini, she should be fine. So
Yeah, sure. Will we go for a
yeah.
little prediction?
I went with out of the box because like you don't always know when you are in UAE. Because Longoborghini was like last year she was only seventh, and of course, not surprising. Okay, very surprising. Lotte Kopecky won it last year. So you never know what happens. So that's why I went with something I just literally said one episode ago that can't happen. Mavi Garcia and actually winning a big race. But hey, this is the time. I'm starting the Mavi Garcia hype train right here, so we'll see. So I'm saying Mavi Garcia first, and I go with Longoborghini on 5 and Kinderkoer on 10.
Nice. Nice. So, let me go completely out of the box as well. I go for Monica Trinca Colonel
Ooh.
as 1. Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah. Let's do this. Then on 5, that's a difficult one. I go for Juliette Labou from FDG. And
Is she
on 10,
confirmed or?
nah, but I'm just taking the guess. It's just not confirmed yet. That's no, that's not a given. And on 10, I go for Lorena Wiebes because she can climb and maybe in the wind. Yeah.
About a hot take.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll go
We'll
for
see
it.
about that.
Exactly.
Okay.
So stay tuned, I guess.
Yeah.
That,
Then I don't think there's much to talk about. Maybe only a mention for Marlon Royce. She's riding a lot during the classics, like
the
Omloop,
whole classic spring,
Hageland.
she's there. Yeah.
Yeah. So great, I guess. But also like we can't forget she just came back from like months and months of not being able even sometimes to train for a long period of time to then just go into like such an intense period. So I guess they know what they're doing. But remarkable.
I guess she's hungry. She
Yeah,
found her
yeah,
drive back. That's good.
yeah,
That's
for
good.
sure. And then I think that really was it. Maybe just a little mention for our episode before. That one was a little longer. If you're listening this and you've just catched up with the latest news, why not check out our episode with Saivo Shea? Super interesting episode, really. It's a completely different perspective from the riders. Super interesting to hear what it is like to be a press officer at Levalula Jaco and the whole Green Edge cycling team. So I'd recommend just go listen to that.
You should, people.
And
It's just one click away. So you're already on our page, so just click it.
and then for the rest of the classic countdown, you maybe know or you don't. Like in 1.5 weeks, or maybe like let's say 1 week, the European Track Cycling Championships are starting, and they are in Belgium and Heusden-Zolder for the first time. So who is going? Of course, I am going. In total, probably 3 sessions, I think. So in honor of that, the 2 coming episodes will be with 2 super amazing track cyclists. So I'd say stay tuned for that, because that will be super, super, super nice episodes. So yeah, you have some work to do actually. A lot to listen. That's a wrap for episode 14 of She Rides. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy the rides.
Absolutely. Women's cycling is packed with action, and we're here to bring you every twist and turn.
Be sure to subscribe on Spotify, Amazon Music, or YouTube so you don't miss upcoming episodes. And if you like today's show, a rating, like, or comment really helps us reach more listeners.
Follow us on Blue Sky and Instagram for behind-the-scenes updates, our Guess the Guest game, and more.
And don't hesitate to share your questions or topics you'd like us to cover.
Stay tuned for more exciting guests and join our prediction competition. Tag She Rides podcast on Blue Sky to show off your knowledge, and She Rides is powered by Kariam Endurance Coaching.
Thanks for listening to She Rides, where women's cycling takes the lead. Keep watching the fun, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.